episode 48 of 52 Axe Patterns. I'm Ed with Redbeard Knife and Tool, and this is my story about the intricacies of restoring and hanging 52 different axe patterns. There's something intimate about bringing an old axe back to life. Some have been through a lot, and some haven't. And giving them a new purpose, whether it's hanging them on a wall or putting them back into service, I get to change their history. Every axe has a story. So what we have here is a Delaware pattern, or Wide Dayton, whatever you want to call it. It is an absolute monster. This thing weighs 4 pounds 5 ounces, and I am excited. It's an AA&T Axe, American Axe and Tool Co. It's got the patented line on it. It was pretty rusted and pretty mushroomed, but I was able to get the mushroom off without taking the stamp off. I kind of stopped a little bit shy, but I'm going to be finishing this a different way that you haven't seen before. So once I get the head fitted to the handle, we'll get to that point. The handle, we're going to put it on a Whiskey River 36-inch single bit. It's a hickory handle, and it does have some character of curl in it, so I'm definitely going to treat this with iron acetate. So that should also make this a pretty special build. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started on getting this thing fit. It already kind of goes in, so we just need to thin out the sides just a little bit. You see it kind of sits on there, but by the time we get down to the bottom of the shoulders, it should fit up pretty nicely. Okay, the fit up might go shorter than I thought. We're getting about halfway, and we have contact everywhere on the bottom. So this is going to be a super great fit for this axe. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's closed a little bit, but we'll get that squared away. Let me get this popped off and we'll take a look. All right, it took off. It seated right where I stopped taking off material, so we're going to just keep going down a little bit more. You see where it stopped, right where the curve stopped. So that makes sense, because that's where the handle will stop compressing, because there's no curve to squeeze. I think we're there. That looks freaking great. What do you guys think? All right, I'm going to pop this thing off. I don't think this shoulder has been very, very clean all the way through the process, so I don't think I'm going to have to do any cleanup on the shoulder with the grinder, but let's take a look anyway. I can do that with the orbital sander, no big deal. So I'm going to set this aside. I have to cut the kerf a little bit deeper, just to make sure. So we're going to use a Whiskey River wedge. It's fitting because I got this handle from Whiskey River. The head was from a Whiskey River auction. Let's use a Whiskey River Purple Heart wedge. That would be great. All right, let me measure this to see how much further we got to go go to right there. Yep. All right. All right, got this cut. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and get the wedge fit, and then most of the axe sharpened. We're going to be a couple of times back and forth. Helicopters. Oh, don't need to do that. We'll go ahead and get the wedge made, and then or the wedge shaped, and then we'll go ahead and do the head, finish the head, and then sharpen it, because I don't think we're going to need to worry about it, because we're not going in and out of the vise anymore with fitting it. So we can go ahead and do the finish and then the edge. Yeah. Save your scraps, kids. All right, let's get this thing fixed up. All right, I am pretty happy with that. Pretty tight. Next, I forgot I got a chamfer. I put a little chamfer right there. I don't always show you guys, but just to kind of make things easier as it goes in. All right, I'm going to bring you over to the vise, and we'll get this thing. I don't remember where I'm at. I remember. I'll take you over to the vise, and we'll get this thing squared away. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this thing a once over with 800 grit, just to kind of give the bluing a surface to stick to, and it'll also kind of smooth out any of the imperfections that I may have left. I gotta go turn my fan on. All right, that's it. I'm gonna take it over and we're gonna blue it. All right, this is a rag that I used for bluing just yesterday, so it's okay. So typically, I don't believe in really cleaning this thing off if I'm coming directly from like a sander or a wire wheel, because it's clean. So it doesn't need any acetone. It doesn't need any steel wool. I think it's fine just the way it is, and it's going to blue just fine. I use the Birchwood KC Perma Blue paste, and I think it's going to do a really bang up job. I think I need to get a new one soon. Yeah, it's going to look pretty fantastic. You just got to be a little expedient when you're putting it on. That way it's pretty even. Or so it activates equally on the whole axe, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me. So, all right, I'm gonna put this thing to hang up and dry while we sand the handle. All right, I think we're gonna go up to 400 on this sanding process. I'm gonna start with 80 just on the tongue, and then for the rest of it, I'm going to be using a soft pad for doing everything else. So I am going to do the fast motion, and I will see you on the other side. All right, after looking at it, there is, you know what? I think there is enough curl in here to go ahead and do Aqua Fortis. So I'm gonna go get set up for that. Yeah, so we're gonna start applying the Aqua Fortis here. I've been saying I need to make a new batch, and I really do. You kind of start to begin to see that curl come up right there. Let's see if there's any down in the lower section. Yeah, there is some. It's very faint, but there's some little bit right there too. This is going to be neat, especially with the sapwood. Curl always looks really cool with sapwood because it makes the lines look a lot darker. So we're going to see that. Oh, there's some in the handle right there too. Yep. Down in the palm swell area. All right, let's give this one last couple of white downs. And we'll set this aside to dry. Yeah. All right, got that hung up. Let's go grab this head, and I'll show you my process on that. All right, I'm just going to take this and that rag that I showed you earlier that I used, I'm just going to dip it in my water bucket, my cooling bucket, and I'm just going to rub my rag all over it, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Now I'm drying it off. So I was going to pass over this with like 1,000 grit just to kind of bring out its stamp and the bevels a little bit, but the bevels are showing themselves very nicely, and the stamp is too. I'll zoom in on that so you can see. So I think I'm just going to leave it like this and put an edge on it. I think we're good. I think we're good. It's freaking nice, man. All right, let's get this to the grinder, and then we'll start getting an edge put on it. Okay, if you notice, we're a little bit toed, so it's a little more toe wear on the top than on the bottom, but it's kind of fortuitous because we got a lot of chips back here, so we're gonna have to grind them chips back anyway. So by the time I get those chips ground back, we're gonna be pretty even. So I'm gonna work on those chips. I'm gonna give it a full workup. We're gonna start at 24 grit just to remove the material for the chips, then 36, then 60, 80, 120, and then we're gonna go to the flex belts and then the conditioning belts. So we're giving it the full workup for this axe, and yeah, pretty excited. No words. We have the handle. I have my heat gun, and I'm just going to start blow drying it. I'm going to get started on it. I'm going to stop the camera, and then I will pick up when I get to the end, because it's kind of a long, it'd probably take like, I don't know, 10 minutes to do all this. See where it kind of gives it that amber hue? That's what we're looking for throughout the whole handle. So we did get a lot of curl come up, not a bunch, but basically the midsection from here to here, there's a decent amount, and it is freaking gorgeous. Let's go back to the table. In the past, I have done, to get the residue off, I've used a piece of like 3000 grit sandpaper. I am just going to use a clean rag and just kind of burnish it a little bit to see if that makes any difference. See if we got anything off. Yeah, there's a little bit that came off, but I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to matter. And while we were doing that, I went ahead and sprayed the head down with some WD-40 just to kind of get it to soak in a little bit, because when you blue them, it does hyper patina the heads, and they tend to flash rust. So I figured while we were doing that, we can get see if we can get the metal to take in some WD-40. But yeah, we're gonna let this the handle cool off for a little bit. You know what? It's cooled off because I did the tongue first, so we're good. We're ready to hang an axe. All right, we're all set. I got my wedge here. Let's crack this open. Get a little dippy dip. Sit there for a second while we get the head on. This is going to be sick. I'm pretty excited. All right, we're there. We are there. Are you guys excited for this? I am. Gonna need that. That's it. This looks freaking great. Absolutely stunning. Let me get the wedge cut off. Yeah, that's pretty outstanding right there. Really, really nice. Just one little sliver that just kind of This is great. Let me get my gloves on. That Purple Heart wedge is just amazing. The contrast is ridiculous. Yeah, let's get this handle oiled. The curl showed up. I am excited. I figured it would, but it's a lot more distinct now with the oil on it. I'm really glad that I did the iron acetate treatment on this. I am very, very excited about it. This is a really good looking axe. Look at that. You see the curl? Right there. Yeah, I am pretty blown away with this thing. Babe, look at this. She's here. She's just kind of hanging out. She's over there. So in case I need anything, I can holler at her. Sometimes she's here, sometimes she's not. Today she made the decision to hang out, so thank you for hanging out, babe. She's laughing at me like I'm an idiot. I probably am. But anyway, definitely not a peeler axe. Just saying. If you know, you know. But this Delaware pattern is freaking gorgeous. The AA&T American Axe and Tool. There it is. Right. Catch that. There. That's better. All right, let me get this thing wiped down and I will be right back. Episode 48 of 52 Axe Patterns is in the books with this super awesome Delaware pattern axe, Delaware Pattern American Axe and Tool Co. Glassport patented. It's got a patented right there. Delaware Pattern Axe. Basically a big Dayton, but there was a pattern for a Delaware. So yep, it might be a big Dayton, but I'm going to call it a Delaware. This thing is super cool. It's got a Whiskey River hickory curly 36-inch single bit handle. Absolutely stunning. Let me know what you guys think. Shoot me a comment. Let me know if you think think I could change anything, or if you just tell me what you like about it. Also, let me know. This is episode 48. Only 4 more to go. I actually got my math right this time. So only 4 more to go. I got 49, 50, 51, and 52. It's not that hard. Some good ones coming. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate you guys commenting, sharing, and just smashing that like button. The best way to support my channel is to comment, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate you guys just watching. That's it. That's all I got. Have a good day.